I recreated a full trailer of Garten of BanBan 7 here inside Minecraft, and today I'm going to show you how I did it. Well, the first thing was to break the trailer down into 11 parts, which would be each scene that I needed. Then I separated all the characters that are in the trailer. Actually, there are only 3. It's good. Now that everything is organized, we can start. The first scene and character that appears is this one here. Well, what can we notice? It's that here behind there is like a wall with bricks. Here a normal smooth wall. And this Bittergiggle that's all strange. He's split in half. So to make it easier, the first thing I did was make the scene. I tried to recreate and make it as similar as possible. Considering this is Minecraft, so all things will be more squared. I put the 2 walls, the table, and the hole from which Bittergiggle emerges. The first scene that appears in Garten of BanBan is ready. Here, look, I recreated it, put the small table that appears there at the end. Here's the door where Bittergiggle will come out, but now he's literally half with a tongue sticking out and several purple teeth. So I don't know if it will be Bittergiggle. I don't exactly know what happened to him. Then what I did was open the Blockbench app, and there I can create various items for Minecraft, and I tried to remake Bittergiggle well so we can add him here. And look, if I press this button, there are several models, but the main one is this one here. Look how he turned out. I don't know, he's completely different. What I'm gonna have to do with him now, in this case, I'll press here and I'll go back to being Jay Quinho, and we can create a scene on Bittergiggle. I'm going to rename it scene number 1, and then now here we have a screen where I can walk as if it were a camera. Imagine this is like a drone. So I'll position this camera where I need to position it, which in this case would be right about here. I'm going to zoom in like this, because this zoom here is quite important, and Bittergiggle will be here. Now I come here to the side, and I add a camera for 5 seconds. 65, no, 5 seconds. Then I can move the camera however I want. For example, if I go further forward, look a little up, and rotate the camera up. Look what happens when I mess around here on the side. The movement that I created, it really happens. So now I just come here, click where I want to add the mob, choose him, and done. Our Bittergiggle was added. Then I can move with him. Look at this. Then I stop here with him neatly, press this button, and click on record. Up there, a recording countdown will start. And I can move with him as I want. In this case, I'll just make him exit here from the door. And then when I release the scene, look, our Bittergiggle is here. It's the only thing I can do. The only thing missing is to make an animation on him. Because when he exits, he is a bit bigger, and this part here descends, as if a part of his body is detaching. Well, after I made the animation, in the end. If you pay attention, this here is the original scene from Garten. And this is how my scene in Minecraft turned out. It turned out very good, right? It doesn't even seem like Minecraft, because here's the thing. If I press this button, it will crash my Minecraft, but it will put realistic lighting. Look at this. The clouds are completely real. Then I just set it to night. To make it darker, I remove the native vision that I'm using. And voila, our scenario is ready. Okay, first mission accomplished. What did you think? I liked it a lot, especially with the lighting. And well, now there's another scene here. I'm gonna leave it complete on the screen because you can't see exactly in this square, but it's a space that has like some trash cans in the back, some barrels with a drop, and right in the center located a cage. But this cage is open, so it's implying that someone escaped. Well, but that will be easy. To do, I simply created the scenario all within a cube. And in the background, it has an aspect of smoke to try to recreate this inside Minecraft. Since it's square and it's difficult, I put glasses of various colors, and the glasses will give kind of an effect of fog smoke in this case. Then afterwards, it was easy. I just put all the models that I created. The cages, boxes, the trash cans, the barrels, and a wheelbarrow. The models were made in Blockbench, in the same way that I created Bittergiggle. Look, I'm here and it turned out cool, but it's kind of dark. And the effect on the glass that I mentioned didn't work. I mean, it worked, just that I need to press this button here, like last time. It will crash, but it put this realistic lighting. The glass has a kind of reflection, if you pay attention, but I think that if I leave my mind like this, it gets better. And then to improve even more, I come here, reduce the chunks, and look. Now yes, there in the back, it's like smoke. Considering that I'm going to stay up here far away, the further I move away, the more this smoke. See? So look, I can kind of set the amount I want. And later I just change the color in the editing. I'll leave something kind of gray in the editing. This here was quite easy, because we didn't need to do the recording with any character. The only thing I need is to come here. Create a scene called scene number 2. Give OK, then I can drag this here. To make it a bit bigger, and I'm going to use this drone. Again, to move around and position where I want. Well, here at the 0 point, which is the first place, I'm going to leave my camera exactly here, look, because the camera starts kind of on the wall. Then I add another point and one to the side. The scene has exactly 5 seconds and the result turned out like this. Man, this camera movement turned out very good. Even better is when I put the lighting. For you to have a basis for comparison, the original scene is this way, with the camera coming from left to right nicely, and mine in Minecraft turned out like this. It's a bit simpler, took less time to make, but the result turned out cool. Okay, back here now, we already have the first and second scene complete, and we can go to number 3. Well, like I said, the last one had no characters, simple, but this one will be a bit more complicated due to the fact that the scenario is several buildings. And there is indeed a character. I'll let it pass complete here for you to see. And yes, Alalin, he passes kind of on a road itself, as if it were a city. Only you can see that it is underground, right? All dark. Okay, I'll start then creating all these buildings. And so, even though it seems to be difficult, it wasn't such a difficult task. I just created all the fences, then the buildings, made the windows, and placed the light post. And some details that were there, like the roof and the building, which I'll put here, and marks on the ground. Look, it might even seem that maybe it's a bit of work to do this, but I don't know if I showed you guys. You've been following my videos for a long time, and you know how I create my maps. Only I discovered a new mod that has this here. I don't know if you noticed, but I don't know. I'll pretend I'm going to create this building. And look at this. If I choose this option, I can place like very far blocks. Without being close, this is already very cool. Second thing, if I come here to the stack, I just click, drag the mouse scroll, and ready. I imagine maybe in the replay mod, you must have noticed the difference. That now with this mod, I no longer need to place block by block. And this makes my life way easier because I just come here and here, turn forward, and ready. Practically, I built a building in seconds. Again, I come here and I will create scene number 3. The same thing, I position the drone. This time, we have an issue. The camera is not going to be useful for much because the scene is recorded in first person. This camera here really won't be used. It's just for me to mark the time. It's 8 seconds. What matters is that the camera won't be used. What really matters is in this part, where I'm going to add the alien, only he'll be a bit further back. Then I come here, and I can simply record with the alien. Exactly. I press Ctrl-R, click on recording, and I make him walking forward. And that's it. Look how the scene of the little alien walking turned out. Now what I'm going to have to do here is pick up our control. I have one. The control is flattened. Wait, it's because its settings are strange. I pick up the control and here in the mod, I can fix it in my hand from the position I want. In this case, I want it to be, oops, no. I want it to be exactly in this position here. Then it's just me playing the scene. I need to put the lighting. Forgot. Put the lighting, remove the shaders, and 1,000 times better, isn't it? Another detail. It can't keep appearing here below, because in the garden it doesn't have this. So just press this button and everything disappears. So let's go. Release the scene, wait for him to walk, and as he walks, I walk too. I'm looking all around. Wow, full of buildings, wow. And that's it. The scene ended. Although it was a bit more difficult. And a quick scene, it took a bit of work because I had to do all the animation part there, but okay, I'm going to show you how the result turned out. This here is the original scene, and this is how it turned out in my Minecraft. Very beautiful. What I liked the most was the coloring of the map, matching with the alien there, his animation, the control, the environment turned out very good. Okay, although it was a bit more difficult. And a quick scene, this one here I really have to confess to you that I didn't understand anything because it's all dark, and the only thing I can see is like a little wall, a little jagged wall. I asked some friends of mine. They told me it was benches and a stage, but I swear by everything, I can't see a stage here behind. It's too dark, so I'm gonna do it the way I imagine to try to make it equal. This one also has no characters, so I'll just come here and I'll recreate the map. Like I said, I can't see right what it is, so I recreated it the way I imagined. It may seem simple, but later with the lighting, it will be much better. So look, it turned out like this in mine, without lighting, without anything. But as you can see, in the original scene from Gar, there have to be some spotlights there in the middle that I imagined to be in that round part. So in Minecraft, I tried to recreate these spotlights with shaders and editing. So for those who didn't understand anything about the map, I think the final result turned out interesting. It wasn't my favorite, but I liked it quite a bit. Okay, but now let's leave this here. That's too simple. And let's go straight to the next. Okay, we finished this, as I said. Very simple and quick. But going to the next will be much more complicated. And there's a reason for that. Okay, I already built the map of it, but I kind of won't be able to show you how I built it because I lost the replay mod. The version I entered Minecraft to do this scene crashed my computer because, well, Looking here in the scene, you can see that there is a giant light there, right? And for me to recreate this light is not so easy. Well, I entered here in Minecraft now, in the version that I said that crashed, and you can notice that it's still crashed for a reason. I'll leave it at night, and look how the scenario turned out. Remember the light that I said I needed? So the light is here. To put the aliens here, I'll put on a night vision quickly just for you to see. It wasn't difficult, okay? I just took here a 3D model of the alien that I already had, that I used for recording, and I put a chain on top of it. This here is a block. It was quite easy. The issue really was the light. I'm using a mod called Better Lights. Here's the thing. I'm going to position myself here, look, where the light is. I come back and press this button. When I press, look what happens. Creates realistic light. And that's what makes Minecraft crash. Because this type of lighting here is not in Minecraft. Well, now I can turn here to see what happens, and configure this light the way I want. For example, I can increase the intensity of the light, I can increase the angle of it, that it will cover, I'll leave it a bit less intense, increase the outer angle, the inner angle, which is like how soft it will be, I'll leave it very soft, decrease the intensity a bit, and now it's just to add the reflection, that's that reflection there in the corner, and add smoke, combining all this. Look how this realistic light turns out. Perfect, right? Just so you have an idea of how perfect this light turns out. If it weren't for the square parts of Minecraft, it would be almost impossible to decipher which version of Garten of BanBan that you're already seeing on the screen, and which one is the version of Minecraft. This light is very realistic indeed. Okay, we finished the first line of scenes. That went up to number 5. Now let's go up here on top, and there's only half plus 1. Yes, there's half and plus 1 literally. The next one is scene number 6. Yes, you can see that there's like a staircase with a building here behind and a red door. I think among all these videos, the setting of this was the coolest so far. I don't know, you guys decide. Comment there if maybe it was the best setting. I think maybe it could have been, because there's quite a lot of detail like that I made with the 3D model. The little button here, as I said, there's no character to do the recording. It's just to add scene 4. Position the camera wherever I want. That in this case, I'll zoom here. To here, rotate a little bit and the camera's ready. Show you, like this it turned out in Garten of BanBan. Cool. And this is how it turned out in Minecraft. Very good result. I want to go straight to the next because it's like this. You might not believe me, but I think this here will be the most difficult scene that I ever recreated in Minecraft. I know I've done a lot of difficult stuff like Pop Playtime, Five Nights at Freddy's, but there's a small problem. This scene, see all these little dots here? I'll let it pass there for you. They are cockroaches. Then there's a small problem. I'll have to create cockroaches one by one and animate all of them. Yes, well, let's go. First thing was to make the scenario. Very difficult. I created there the walls with their decorations, like fences, doors, and bridges. Here, look, the result of the scenario, very good, right? Now let's go to the walkbench. I'll explain to you how I'm going to make the cockroaches. Well, let's go. To create the cockroach, I'm going to do the following. Stretch here a brown square. Add a little leg, another little leg. Stretch, select, head. Eyes, duplicate the legs. A wing and duplicate. This is the easiest part. Now imagine that there are like, I don't know, hundreds of cockroaches. I'm going to duplicate one by one. Still, I'm going to duplicate one by one. And this also is not the most difficult part. See here below that, there's a line. Let's suppose I'm going to take this cockroach and I want it to make a turn. I'll leave it here. In the next line, I'll put it forward and rotate it. Look what it's gonna do, this movement, but it has to get here, so come a bit more. Goes there, come a bit more. Goes there, okay, turned. And then the result was this, the cockroach walking up there, right? But this here was only one, we have all these others. Then imagine that I'm gonna have to make random movements, all these cockroaches. 2, pull here, rotate here, rotate, and it was only 2. Okay, we return, I finished. As I told you guys, putting all the cockroaches would lag a bit, so I put only a few. Look, not so many, but there are some. Only what I thought of doing is to take them and spread again once more and put one here on the wall. To put on the wall is just to rotate like this. And so there they are on the wall. So didn't it turn out the most perfect thing in the world? But guys, I had a lot of work, please. If you are not subscribed to the channel, subscribe, because it took a lot of work to do this. What I'm gonna need here is to stay with this little control. In hand, tiny. I'm kidding, it's not this size, I'm gonna decrease it here, like I always do. Decrease a little bit again, position. Because as we are in another map, it didn't save that control there that I had. Here, okay. And well, besides the cockroaches, there are no more characters. In this scene, it's just me, right? As if there weren't enough characters. Look at the amount of cockroach here. But okay, the scene happens like this. I walk here, look to the right, then I look at the ground, turn around and see. Only the difference, of course, that all this with shaders. And also at night. Wow, look, I'm impressed. Because I hadn't tested this map with shaders yet. This reflection here turned out perfect, it is. It's difficult for me to recreate a reflection so beautiful in Minecraft. It looks like it's a real-life mirror. Well, but I think I've stalled enough with these cockroaches. This here was the result, in this case, the original scene from Garten of BanBan. This here is the result of how it turned out in Minecraft. Okay, cool. Was it worth it for me to have spent 3 hours animating Cockroach? It was. The result turned out very good. Agree with me, please. Okay, next. Now we have an issue. You see that there's still scene number 8, 9, and 10. In case you are a very loyal subscriber, and you really like my videos, you must already know that I have already recreated the teaser of Garten of BanBan. And this scenario here. This one here, this one here. I made a video last time if you watched all my videos. You know about it, got it? So instead of me recreating it again, I'll just reuse all the maps, because it doesn't make sense for me to recreate it again. This here was the first one, which is like in a bar where there's an alien. I created the bar with all the details. It turned out perfect. Then I created this corridor. The corridor turned out wonderful. And lastly, where BanBan is lying there. With that bunch of, I think it's green blood. I don't know, okay? I just know he's finished, poor thing. So, unfortunately, I don't have those maps anymore. Because it's been more than 3 months since I created that video. And I normally, after a long time, delete things. Because otherwise it takes up too much space. Then you can go watch the video, okay? Just search on my channel. Well, as these 3 scenes have already been made, now only the last one is left. And this one will also be very specific, because look, here on Blockbench, I have the Syringian. I don't know his name, okay? But I took this model here, from an add-on, there from Bedrock, from the Minecraft of cell phone, you know? And now what I'm gonna do with it is simply change its entire texture to gray, because there he is gray. Here, change here. To make it better, I'll have a bit of work. Because I'll have to increase, one by one, look. Well, I'm gonna do this here, and when I'm ready, I'll show. Because, yeah, I imagine you don't want to see me doing this, right? Because it's very boring to see me fixing the character's texture. This here is a lot of work. I come here, put it on the ground, and pick up our metal syringian. Now I'm just going to create some cameras, zooming in on his arms, zooming in on his legs. That's what happens. And lastly, a scene zooming in like this. Well, stay with the result of the trailer of Garten of BanBan set. Complete here inside Minecraft, and comment what you thought. Thanks, guys, and see you next video.
Oh, I remember you. You always hated my jokes!
A facility-wide code breach has been issued. The following media is to be watched by all employees. Welcome to the Employee Survival Guide. Keeping your limbs intact is our top priority. Knowledge is your weapon. Step 1. Don't be a hero. Step 2. Hide. If hiding is not an option, cause as much noise as possible. Step 3. Contact the emergency services.